I'm here with Jim Schlentz. We've kind of switched roles for a little bit. Um, he is the coach at Colts Neck. He coaches both boys and girls, distance runners in the winter and spring, and of course, cross country in the fall. He is most proud, and this is an amazing stat. He has won, his kids have won 19 individual Meet of Champions titles and have finished 9 second times. It's pretty impressive when you go through that, and I doubt there's many people in New Jersey that come close to that or rival that. There might be somebody, but I doubt there's too many. So congratulations on that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so we're going to ask him a little bit about cross country training. We're going to start with some questions about his summer training and what he does with the Colts Neck, the Cougars, right, Coach?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So how much time do you give your kids off after spring track?
Yeah, we give 2 weeks off, which seems to be pretty much what everyone else seems to be doing. We used to do just 2 weeks completely off, but we seemed at times get these pains after people would start running and get pains in the knees and things like this. It seemed like the 2 weeks of absolutely doing nothing was actually almost harmful. So now what we try to do is 1 week completely off, and maybe, or it might not even be 9 to 10 days off, and then we start jogging like an easy 3 miles, then take a day off, and then maybe another 3 miles, and then take a day off, and then start.
Cool. How many days a week do you meet once you get started?
We only meet twice a week, and one of the reasons I do that is because I feel like 10 months of the year they're on Jim Schlentz's schedule. We have practice, they got to be there. I want to meet with them twice a week because I feel that's real important for them to be around me at least twice to keep them going in the summer. But at the same time, I think they have to own it themselves, know that, hey, if I want to be good at this, I have to go out and do it on my own. I can't depend on Schlentz being there for every moment of my life. So we meet on Mondays and Thursdays in the evenings, and the way the heat's been going the last couple of years and storms and everything, I would love to move it into the morning, but I don't know. We have too many people that work and can't get rides then. Unfortunately, it seems to be that the night is when we can get the most of the people there.
Okay. How does training evolve from the start of the summer into September?
Well, I think the way we do it, like I said, we have those 2 weeks, and then it probably takes another 2 to 3 weeks to get back to where we were. In other words, if a person was doing, we'll just say 40 miles a week, it might take the time off and then a gradual improvement. It might be 4 to 5 weeks before we get back to that total. We want that rest mentally, we want that rest physically. At the same time, we want to bring them back slowly and not, just slam them all, right into it right away. So, and then from then we start, Mondays and Thursdays are our slightly harder days. We might, in the beginning, like our first practice is going to be tomorrow, which would be, July 7th, something like that. But it'll be maybe a small progression workout. And it might be the slow distance they're going to slightly faster and slightly faster. All we want to do is have a small bit of hurt so that we can say like, oh, that's what that feels like again. I call it introduction to hurting a little bit, Right. And then we gradually, Mondays are at Homedale Park, and we're just pretty much doing the start through the roller coasters as you come out of the woods, cut across to come all the way back to the finish. And what we're trying to do is getting hills. Don't care how fast it is in the beginning, just get hills in our legs. And Thursday each week probably gets a little quicker. We will do the workouts where we start at a distance pace and each lap or mile gets a little quicker until the point where we feel like, hey, we're fit enough, and then we start switching over to tempo runs where we're trying to break it up. And again, depending on the weather, since it is hot, if it's 85 degrees, 80 to 85 degrees, we might cut it all the way down to repeat, 800s, thousands, or 1200s. And we bring a big cooler with towels in it, with ice water in it. You finish it, you throw it over your head and shoulder for 10 seconds, you throw it back in the thing, and it cools them down and it keeps that body temperature down. We run in the shade, complete shade, and it gets us through. So, and then by the end of the summer, the tempos are where we want them to be for the rest of the season, except for obviously as we get a little fitter, it'll be slightly faster.
Right. All right. How important is the summer to the season?
That was one of the questions. I put that in there for everyone to see, just to point out that, it's that old adage, championships are won in, August and July, not the end of the season. And I felt it was important for every coach maybe that's, seeing these videos that maybe doesn't, is a first-time coach or, a newer coach, to understand that if you're waiting until the first day of practice to get involved, it's a big mistake. The summer is gonna either kill or make your season if you can get kids excited about it. And it's hard to get excited about running in extreme heat. And all the days that they're running on their own, having to find a way to get out there every day and do it. But I think when you're able to do those things, you're able to do almost anything. And if you survive that test, I think you see how special you are and what you're capable of doing.
I like that. And lastly, how do you create your team culture?
That's an interesting question, because I think I just finished my 46th year of coaching. How you look at it when you're first starting to, when you're later, it's interesting, because you've set a culture and you've almost forgot, how you got to that point, But my goal every day is that, we get out at 3:00, and if my kids are thinking at 2:00, 1 hour, and then I get to be at practice. I get to be with my best friends or my friends, and we're going to go out there and train hard, but we're going to be so proud of ourselves after we finish the workout. That's your goal, to get them excited. Now, we used to hear something happened where they'd cancel all sports because the storm was coming in, and I'd hear these sports people go like, yes, no practice. And I'm thinking, why are you excited? You don't get to be with the people. It wasn't the runners that were doing that. It was, football or whatever. I want them to be excited that they have practice and be bummed if they can't have practice with each other. And I guess that starts with, again, letting them know you care, letting them know that you're always there for them, letting them know that, you're going to be with them when you're struggling, and you're going to be with them when everything's great. It's easy to be with everyone when it's great, when everything's going, they're running PBs left and right, but someone's struggling, that's when they need you more, to let them know that, hey, trust, you'll get through it. Yeah, you're struggling a little bit right now, but hey, the system works. Just trust it. Keep yourself cool, get some extra sleep, do those little things that you have to help yourself with, and trust the process, and you'll be there. And as long as they know that you care deeply, I'm still shocked that I'm 69 years old in a couple of weeks, and why any 15-year-old would want to hang out with me 15 or 20 minutes after practice. That just blows my mind, because when I was 15 or 16, the last thing I wanted to be with was an old guy. So
talking about track.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. Or even just talking about life, it's interesting. And I think if you can get to that point, then you're doing the good thing. You're doing a good job.
Coach, I've spent some time with you. There's very little talk that isn't track. So, and I talk a lot about track. My mom had to make a rule at the dinner table back in the day, no talk about track. So,
Yeah. Well, I don't have to teach you life lessons. You're teaching all of them, It's
right.
interesting how sometimes when you're just talking about life and the lessons you learn and all of those things, how they get real interested in it, as long as you're not preaching, as long as you're just discussing it, and giving them stories that are interesting and, and how you learn those lessons. I think all of a sudden they're like, wow, that's cool. So
Yeah.
the end.
Well, thank you very much, Coach. I hope everybody enjoys this as they're getting ready for the cross country season.
Thank you.